Is Rolex deliberately limiting the supply of their watches? I thought as an economist, I might be able to offer some insights. So we have to discuss aggregate demand and supply, consumer preference curves. It's Steve from the first video. Hey, I'm getting the call. What? A Daytona? The Panda? Limited edition. And you're offering to me? No. I told you, the Oyster Perpetual. Oh, you're gonna call the next guy. And he's a millionaire. Well, he probably wants a Yachtmaster. But yeah, okay, good luck. No wonder you guys are mad. Look, they don't listen. Welcome back to my watch journey. People are upset about the supply of Rolex, so let's do a deep dive. But first, a quick wrist check. A comment in the last video was dragging me about wearing a cheap watch. So I thought I would up my game. I'm now wearing my Pepsi Timex. Yes, my Pepsi Coke extremely limited edition on a pink rubber strap. It's the highlight of my collection. So, I'm an ambassador for Watch Crunch. They are not sponsoring this video, it's purely a volunteer position. But it's a great forum for watch nuts like us. And recently, there was a thread asking about the supply situation. I'll leave a link to the discussion below. Check it out, because the responses were very good. The thread asked, is the Rolex lack of supply real or artificial? Here are the results of the poll. 12% said it is real and Rolex is doing all they can to meet the demand. 35% said it was artificial and Rolex is holding back. And a majority stated that it is real, but caused by fear of missing out, FOMO, and flippers. As you can see, there is a lot of anger out there for flippers. But what if I told you that all three were true? Yes, but how can that be? First, we need to understand Rolex as a consumer good. It's classified by economists as a Veblen good. So what is that? Well, a Veblen good is a good for which demand increases as the price increases due to its exclusive nature and appeal as a status symbol. Take a look at this demand curve. Maybe over here. You can see that the demand goes up as the price increases. Of course, there's a limit to how far it can go, but you get the idea. Feel free to pause the video. Here's my first point. Exclusivity is a part of the price. It is a necessary component that adds value to Rolex. Limited supply is a feature, not a bug. So is that it? So simple. We're done, right? Rolex really is intentionally limiting supply. Well, no, because that's only a small part of the story. If we want to understand how we got ourselves into this mess, we need to look at the larger context of what was happening. On October 27, 2004, the Boston Red Sox win the World Series for the first time since 1918. Finally vanquishing the so-called curse of the Bambino that plagued them for 86 years. What does that have to do with Rolex? I promise you, this does relate to our discussion. I was working for a textile manufacturing company on that day, and suddenly we got panic calls from all our regional warehouses. Every red shirt we had in inventory was sold out. In a matter of hours, we were completely out of red shirts all over the nation. We're not talking 3 months, 3 weeks, or even 3 days. In 3 hours, we were done. All our red shirts were gone and dead. If you're a Star Trek fan, you'll get the joke. Now, this story is really important to understand because Rolex has experienced the same story. Not quite as fast, of course, but essentially the same. This is known as a demand spike. Supply chain management is the issue here. In previous times, I had discussions with the head of manufacturing about demand forecasting. You need to do this to run a business. And I pointed out that we had a 6-month backlog of orders. In other words, our backlog was equal to our future demand. Does that sound familiar? Yes. It's the same as the infamous Rolex waitlist. Rolex constantly needs to tread water. They want to sell as many watches as possible without exceeding demand. They're trying to walk a very thin line. And you know what? They're really good at it. I'm sure they have tons of sales data to help them. In addition, there's a wait list. We know that the ADs do in fact pass along information. They do this to help catch stolen watches and keep an eye on flippers. I've heard of some legit customers getting blacklisted because they bought a flipped watch from a gray dealer. The waitlist should help Rolex not only in estimating total demand, but also the right product mix, which of course, how much of which watch to produce and all that. So why do they still make so many Lady Datejust? No idea. Oh wait, it's Steve again. Hey Steve, wow, that was fast. You got it? My OP? What? A sea dweller? Are you kidding me? I have a 6.5-inch wrist. I can't even wear the Speedmaster Reduced. Are you messing with me? Yes, the OP 36 millimeters. Get on it. You see? Misunderstanding demand. Take a look at this chart. It shows the gradual and organic rise in prices, and then you know what happened. Yes, prices were rising as a result of inflation and organic demand, but that spike in 2020 is a supply shock that must have caught Rolex by surprise. And here is the dilemma for them. It's a question of capacity utilization versus capital investment. Okay, so what does that mean? Look at this chart. You don't have to understand it all, but it simply means that it's much easier to crank up production to maximum capacity than to build a new manufacturing plant. I'm sure that Rolex is producing watches as fast as it can, but that's a different project from building new capacity. Of course, we know that they are building a new facility, but it's going to take years to ramp up. So let's take another look at the price trend. One thing we can say, the days of flippers making instant profit are gone. With the possible exception of the Daytona, I doubt that the gap between retail and secondary prices will ever be this large again. It might take another global pandemic. The other thing is that I see some gray dealers hanging on to that last part of the chart where prices appear to be stabilized. To me, it looks like a dead cat bounce. This happens in the equity market. When stocks drop to a price floor, there are usually bargain hunters gambling on a rise. But usually, it continues down. How do I know that? Because all the macroeconomic indicators are signaling a downturn, not an upward trend. No one is expecting the economy to go back up, unless maybe you're a flipper. That's it for this video. There's a lot more to say about this, so I'll continue the market analysis series. I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next video.